Hey friends, I have been reflecting the last few days on that beautiful speech that Erica Kirk shared at her husband Charlie Kirk's memorial service. Her words weren't just about loss, they were about God's design for family and why it matters so much. The family. God designed the family as a sacred place of peace and refuge. But here's the truth. The enemy knows if he can destroy the family, he can weaken the church, the community, and even the nation. That's why the attack on marriage is so fierce, because marriage is the foundation of everything else. Marriage. Marriage is not a competition. It's a covenant. It is two becoming one flesh under God. And the reason the enemy fights it so hard is because marriage is a living picture of Christ and his church. So when husbands and wives live in that covenant love, they are preaching the gospel without words. No wonder Satan hates it. Husbands. Erica described Charlie's leadership so beautifully. Every Saturday, he asked his wife, "How can I better serve you as a husband?" That is biblical manhood. The enemy wants men distracted, passive, or harsh. But God calls you to be leaders worth following. Wives, Erica gave this challenge. Be virtuous, be encouragers, be guardians of the home. The enemy will whisper lies that your role doesn't matter, that your worth is elsewhere. But God's truth says your calling is sacred, powerful, and world-changing. My friends, hear this. When Christian marriages thrive, families thrive. And when families thrive, faith thrives. That is why the enemy wants to destroy them. But we don't fight in fear. We fight in faith. Husbands, love your wives and lead your wives. Wives, guard and strengthen your homes. Families, stand united under Christ. Now, I'm going to follow this up with just a few scriptures, and I want to encourage you to write these down, put them somewhere you can see them, whether it's your fridge, your bathroom mirror, your office, wherever you will see them every day. And before I share, real quick, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe, so you'll see more videos like this. And I also would love to hear your comments on how this video has blessed you. And if you have any additional feedback, I would love to hear from you. Lastly, of course, make sure you think of that one person or more and share this video with someone that needs to hear this message. And let's commit together to protect our marriages, raise up our children in the faith, and resist the enemy's lies. Because God's design for family is worth fighting for. So in the role of marriage, marriage is a covenant, not a competition. Genesis 2:24. The two shall become one flesh. It reflects Christ and the church. Ephesians 5:31 through 32. The role of a godly husband Husbands are called to be servant leaders. Now hear me. Leaders, for sure, but a servant leader. There's a difference. Ephesians 5:25 says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Now that is a challenging task, but what a beautiful example of how husbands are called to love their wives. The enemy wants men distractive, passive, or domineering. 1 Peter 5:8 says, your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion. Have you ever heard a lion roar? Oh my gosh. Whew. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Whew. The role of a godly wife. A wife's strength is in her virtue and her role as encourager and guardian of the home. Proverbs 31:25-27. But God says their ministry in the home is sacred and powerful. Titus 2:4-5. So in summary, one more time, the enemy attacks marriages because strong marriages produce strong families, and strong families produce strong communities of faith. Ephesians 6:12, and I'll end with this. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces of evil. My friends, every day, wake up. And I challenge you today, wake up in the morning, get on your knees, and just say that 5-word prayer. God, I need your help. And just invite the Holy Spirit to come in and help you, because marriages are hard. They're hard. And there's a reason why. Because men and women are different. But when men and women come together in marriage to become one flesh under God, God is at the top. And we are submitted to God. Both of us submitted to God. Watch out. Your marriage will thrive. And your families will thrive. I love you, but most importantly, the God of the universe loves you so much. God bless.